Good day and welcome back to my channel. And we are at our next installment of the A-10 Xwing mashup thing. And we've gotten a little bit creative and we've gotten a little bit of our creativity done. So we'll go ahead and look at what we are, where we are and so forth. So I'm going to start with the fuselage because, it's the thing that's taking up the most time. So as you can see, it's fill and sand and fill and sand and fill and sand. And that's where we are right now. It's at the fill and sand stage. Taking the two pieces, so essentially I took the fuselage from one of them, put this to the back, and had them lip around the front fuselage that we had for the first one. We filled the front and we sanded that smooth, or given it a contour. So essentially we're going to have an A-10-ish look with that long nose that the Xwing would have. There's a little bit of a divot down here at the bottom, which is, sort of in keeping with the mechanics of the Star Wars X-Wing, and that, there's this huge box and the pilot sort of rides up on top, and that's where this will all go. So in here, once I've gotten this smoothed out and I'm having to build up some of the piece, and you can see where the contour is here, and this is going to have to get filled in and sanded smooth down through here. So there's still lots and lots and lots of fill and sand and fill and sand and fill and sand, and that's how this all works. It just takes time, and this is a part where there was a divot and it needs to be filled in. So we're just going to keep working that until we get the contours that I want and get a nice lay of the shape. And once I have my shape in, then I can start working at the final polish and start scribing panel lines in, just to give it a more aircraft feel. I'm in the process of getting a replacement for the gun and then filling these pieces, and then have our wheel put in here. I'm going to use the landing gear assembly that I'd started. When I drop that guy in here, it'll be about there, so it'll end up being at approximately the same height. And we'll just build this up to build a landing gear bay so that has the look that we want. So it'll just sort of sit there. And that'll give us what we want. And one of the things that's important is understanding that this is going to be, about an inch-ish off the ground, because that's relevant with where the engines on the lower wings are going to be. So let's take a look at those now. Essentially what we've done is I have taken the wings and took those two leading flaps that were, or those leading slots that are to put the main X-Wing or the main wing into the body, created a join, put that together, and then it's being held together with green stuff to sort of lock that all in place. And one of the things we had to do is make sure that our angle was right, etc. So there was I sort of got them all together and put them in, and then set them on the table to cure up. So I'll throw a couple pictures here on what we did there. So that's what I did with that part. Now, what's relevant here is the fuselage for the plane is going to come to about here. And this is where what matters is where and what's the angle that the X-Wing will be at. So where, if I go straight out X, this engine is going to hang way underneath. So what's probably going to happen, and if we look at the picture, you'll see this bottom wing is more up. So I'll take this up insert this toward the top of the fuselage itself and give it a more flat look, so that I can maintain the X view, but also not have the engine sitting on the ground when the wheels are down. So, we have to worry about that angle. The other thing I've done here is I've gotten the engine cut off and put in. And then all I need to do now is do the contour work here and fit that all together, so that flows. So we have some nice contour there. And then we can and then what we'll do is we'll take this approximately, let's take this one. So if we take this and we look at where we're going to want that to drop in, we want to drop that in right here. So and I've been waiting to do this part before I figure out where here I cut the fuselage off. And it's looking like that's going to be, if I drop that there, looks like that's going to be dropped off right about here. So right where these are, we'll just whack that off, form that up, or block that off, and then this is the part that I need to finish smoothing off. So we'll get this smoothed off and ready, or at least we'll get this finished up. I'm not going to put a lot of putty in here, because once I get these wings on, actually not that one, once I get these wings on, what's going to be necessary is, what is the form? I need to look and see where in here this is going to mate up, and then the fuselage that's visible beyond that, below that, is what I need to worry about getting smooth and nice. So it looks like from about where this starts down is the part of the fuselage I actually have to worry about. The rest of this will get where the wings go on, and then we'll have to do all the contouring and flow and so forth. I'm debating on whether I want to put mechanics and machinery here, or if I want to just leave this smooth, along the lines of the Air Force type plane versus the Star Wars Xwing greebly stuff that's undone. So I suspect I may just go smooth rather than detail that, but we'll see. So getting so when we get these together, so the next thing I need to do is then take the engines, and so for here, the remainder from the flow from the fuselage gave a good seal, or a good mount point for a thing. Now this is going to be different, because this has got to curve away. So what I'm going to have to do is trim this off here and then do fill. So I need to look at where this is going to go, and it looks like it's going to go right there in that V. Should be going right about there, so that they're roughly in the same spot. And then we'll have those together. We'll get that put together and do all and again, it's fill and sand and fill and sand and fill and sand. That is where we are right now. We are at the fill and sand spot, and that's what we're going to be doing for a while. Just fill and sand, fill and sand. So this is about where we are at the moment. It's not a bad start. When I got started on this thing, it was sort of like kind of goofy, and it's kind of silly, and it is. It's kind of a silly idea, but it looked kind of cool in the picture. So let's see what we can do, and it's a good. The cool thing here is this is a good experiment for practicing skills, right? This isn't a model that really matters. It matters to me because I think it looks cool, but I don't have anything I need to make. It's not like I'm trying to make a KV2 with all these kind of historical details and things I need to worry about. What I can do is practice specific details and lay out in preparation on what I want it to be and how I want it to work, and try and make that up without the stress of, hey, you missed that rivet or this or whatever. So anyway, and it's also playing with my engineering head. You know, how would this actually engineer together? Which, you know, obviously it wouldn't because of flight dynamics, etc. But whatever. And therefore, so that's what we have. This is where we are. And in this case, like I said, this whole series is more of an example of what it's like for me anyway to go through and do a kit bash or build up of something. This is flirting with the idea of scratch build, although it's not really, because although there's a whole lot of filling and sanding, I have a basic form I'm working from. You know, the fuselage, this isn't much different than if I were to cut the thing out of balsa. So that's really close to scratch build. The wings are not. Obviously, the wings are, so we could get bogged down in details, but the wings are more kit bash stuff. But working from that, right? So taking an idea and building it up, what do you do? How do you work it? What is the thought process? And this is the thought process that I work through as I go through each step. And this is where we are now. And so I will be back later with my next installment on this. In the meantime, I hope that this is entertaining and enjoyable for you. And in the meantime, happy modeling. Have a good one.